There's an old saying in golf: you drive for show, but you putt for dough. Hey everybody, it's Ed the Trainer, and we'll take a look at how this applies to life coming up next on Tips on Tuesday. Over the weekend, I had an opportunity to get together with some old friends that I hadn't seen in a while and play in a golf tournament. And honestly, the same could be said for my golf clubs as well, that I hadn't seen them in a while. And when we all arrived, most of us went straight to the driving range and began to try to mash a bunch of driving range balls with our drivers, right? To see how far we could hit it, let alone to try to hit a little bit straight. Now, very few of those in our party went out to the practice putting green to try to bone up a little bit and maybe see how their putter felt and get that stroke down. And when the tournament began, of course, it's pretty predictable that in our group, we had lots of balls in the woods and we had lots of balls that were hit real far, but not necessarily on target. But at the end of the day, when we all got to the green, that's where most of our mulligans, right, our redos, and most of our performance enhancers in terms of these types of tournaments were used on the green where you score in golf, right? And you see, within golf, what winds up happening is guys practice trying to hit the ball 350, 400 yards off the tee, but oftentimes it's the short game that winds up failing them the most. And it's the short game that counts. Usually what you'll see in golfers having a bad day is it's almost as many shots or as many strokes on the green as it was to get to the green in the first place. And if you stop and think about that to our regular world, right? How many of us are dreaming of, the big deal, making the one sale that's going to set us up for the next quarter or the next 6 months or the next year, or maybe hitting that jackpot contract that sets us up for many years ahead? You see, here's the thing. In order to make those big deals, those once-in-a-lifetime contracts actually work out, we need to be able to execute. And the execution, guys, is in the day-to-day. And see, many of us fail to realize that there is long-term gain in the short-term pain, right? Doing the little work, doing the day-to-day work that leads to the larger results. Most people are looking for the long-term gain without having to suffer any of that short-term pain. There's no shortcuts. You're not just going to bomb your drive off of the tee and drop it in the cup most of the time. Certainly there are some holes in one. Just like in life, there are some strokes of luck that land in our laps, but ordinarily it's the everyday grind, right? The hard work that we have to put in on the putting green that helps us to score the best. So it's in our daily agenda, guys. This week, let's focus on the process. And you've heard me say this 100 times, but the value is in the process. The value is doing the day-to-day work that adds up to the big numbers, the big goals, and the big dreams that you may have. But there's got to be some sacrifice. There's got to be some short-term pain for that long-term gain. Let's work on the putting green this week. Let's work on our daily process, and let's build our strength in the short game. Thanks so much for joining me today, everybody. I really, really appreciate your time. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you soon.